This week's Torah reading, which finds itself in the 25th chapter of the book of Leviticus, is called Bahar. And like most of the Sidrot, if not all of them, it deals with human interrelationships. We talk about when a person becomes impoverished, when they sell themselves into slavery or as a quasi-slave or an indentured servant for a period of time, and when they feel so down in their luck that they feel like life is hopeless to them, that we're warned very carefully how to treat them, to restore them back to the place that they were once, even though they may be irrevocably, psychologically damaged from what happened to them. We do our best to restore them physically to the place that they were before the bad things happened to them. There is a particular phrase toward the end of the Sidra which talks about the way that we treat them. Do not treat a person harshly who is suffering. Lo tirde bo befarech. Which at face value seems pretty self-evident. We treat a person who is hurting with care and with dignity. We don't oppress them. But the rabbis, the Chachamim Zichrono Livracha, deal with this word befarech in a different way. And you may recall having heard this word elsewhere because it is featured in the Passover Haggadah. It also is found extracted from the book of Exodus, where Pharaoh, we are told, treats the Jewish people, befarech, harshly with punishments. And the Haggadah takes this and travels with it and imagines the very difficult tasks that the Pharaoh did to the people to oppress them, to hurt them, to make them feel lower than the dirt that they were working in. But the rabbis take this word befarech and they strip it into two different separate words, beperach, with a serpentine, with a sweet, with a maliciously designed tongue, with words that demean, with words that take away the humanity. See, it's not always that when we treat another individual harshly, we're physically assaulting them. In fact, perhaps not a day in his life, Pharaoh physically hurt any one of the Israelite slaves, but he did do terrible, long-lasting, lifelong damage to them, beperach, with a serpentine tongue, because of the words that he used, because of the things that he said, because of the dictates that he made that indicated that these were Untermenschen. These were subhuman. These aren't the same kind of people that we are. And we're warned to not be like Pharaoh. We're warned when a person is hurting, when they're suffering, to not psychologically lash them, to instead be kind, to be generous, to be thoughtful, to be very circumspect with the words that we use with them, because it would be so easy to damage them in a way that would be far more long-lasting than any lash that we could whip them with, psychically scarring them for the rest of their life. So we're told to treat a person who is suffering, beperach, using words that are not hurtful, that are not degrading or demeaning, that place a person in a box that they will never be able to extract themselves from, but instead to elevate them. To not be like Pharaoh, but to instead to put ourselves in the position of being a liberator, more like Moses. Shabbat Shalom.